What's up, my YouTube family? Welcome back to the Gaming Brigade. And about 6 weeks ago, I put out a version of this build that I got a lot of feedback on. A lot of people enjoyed the build. However, in the comment section, I received a lot of messages from people asking me to put together a version that did not have the Memento backpack or the Scorpio shotgun, as some people do not have those items as yet. So today I wanted to take a few minutes and show you another really great variation of this build. Now, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well. And remember, we are currently having a giveaway for PlayStation 5. To enter, all you need to do is subscribe here or follow on Twitter, and the winner will be announced on October 2nd of this year. We are going to jump right into the build, my friends. However, one thing I mention at the beginning of every build video I put together is I want to remind especially new and returning players that this is just a template. You know, this is one of so many different ways you can run with a build like this, and the most important thing is to truly take your time and make a build your own. Now, once we're finished with the build breakdown, I will go over a few tips for new and returning players to help you out anytime you're trying out a new build. Now, as far as this one goes in the specialization, I'm using Technician because it gives us the ability to equip the linked laser pointer to our primary and secondary weapon, and that comes into play in regards to the talents we have on our weapons and on our chest. And remember, regardless of which specialization you choose, always make sure you have the proper weapons activated in your weapon skill tree. That way you're getting a weapon damage bonus of 15% regardless of which weapon you're using. My primary weapon for this build is the Vector SBR 45 ACP. Now, with a handful of SMGs in the game, you can equip the linked laser pointer. It has to be a long-barreled weapon. So with this Vector, I do have the ability to equip that laser pointer, which means everything I target is going to be pulsed, which comes into play because we are using a talent Flatline, which amplifies weapon damage by 15% to pulsed enemies. My secondary weapon for this build is the ACS-12 shotgun. I think in the first version of this, I used the Scorpio. That is another great option as well. But you can see with this weapon, just like the Vector we're using, we do have the option of equipping that laser pointer to this weapon, which means that every single thing we target is going to be pulsed. And once again, we're using Flatline, so again, we're always getting that 15% weapon damage bonus regardless of which weapon we're using. For my sidearm, I'm using the Liberty pistol, but to be honest with you, I really don't touch it with this build. I do have it equipped, so I'm gaining that proficiency with that weapon. Now onto the gear itself. You can see I'm running 4 Hunter's Fury, 1 UZINA, and 1 Walker and Harris. Starting off with the mask, it's the first piece of Hunter's Fury. We're running 4, so we get all of the gear set bonuses. You guys know by now, 2 pieces 15% shotgun and SMG damage, 3 pieces 20% armor on kill and 100% health on kill, and 4 pieces Apex Predator. Moving on to the body armor, it's the 1 piece of UZINA we have equipped, which is going to give us 5% total armor, but the main reason we're using it is because this is the named version, the closer, which gives us a talent perfect spotter, which increases weapon and skill damage by 20% to pulsed enemies. Now, for those of you that do not have this body armor as yet, it is a guaranteed reward in the current seasonal reward track. So most of you probably have this. However, if you're looking to farm for a better version, I strongly suggest you farm Countdown. You can set your targeted loot to UZINA if you want, but you don't need to because the hunters drop random named items. I actually think in the footage you're seeing, the first hunter that was taken out actually dropped the closer, and my targeted loot was set to shotgun. So remember, it's all going to be luck of the draw sometimes, but I cannot recommend enough, my friends, farm Countdown. It is the most efficient way to get named items in the game. Moving on to the holster, the knee pads, and the gloves, they are the 3 remaining pieces of the Hunter's Fury gear set, and this is where making a build your own really comes into play. So you can see with the holster, I've chosen to re-roll the core attribute to armor because I wanted a little more survivability. I like my builds for Countdown to be sitting at about 1.2 million armor-wise, but again, depending on your gameplay, it's completely up to you. Now, as far as my secondary attributes are concerned, I am stacking crit hit chance and crit hit damage everywhere I can. Right now, I'm sitting at 59% crit hit chance and 117 crit hit damage. However, my friends, always remember those numbers are going to be dependent on the gear you have equipped. I mean, one of the reasons my crit hit damage is so high has to do with the fact that my primary weapon that I have equipped has a 21% crit hit damage bonus that obviously helps out a lot. But again, if you're close to those numbers, that's fine. You can can tweak it certain ways and still put out a ton of damage and really enjoy the build. Last but not least, we have the backpack, and I'm using the Matador named Walker and Harris because it gives me the talent perfect adrenaline rush, which means every time I'm in close proximity to NPCs, I'm going to get bonus armor. Now, in the first version of this build I put together, I was using the Memento because it is still one of the best exotics in the game, but remember, when you're playing Countdown and you're using the Memento, you need to be the one who kills the NPC to get that trophy to drop. So if you always want some sort of talent going, I recommend something like Adrenaline Rush, and if you do not have the named version of this bag, you can use a regular piece of Walker and Harris, roll Adrenaline Rush on there. If you just want, you could use a piece of Sokolov if you're not going to be using your shotgun that much. That's one of the reasons why I have the Walker and Harris equipped, because that way, regardless of which weapon I'm using, I'm still getting a weapon damage bonus. It's not dependent on whether it's an SMG or a shotgun. And when it comes to my skills, I'm using my two favorite in the game. I have the Crusader Shield equipped just in case things get sideways, and because I'm using the Technician specialization, I do have more shield health. And when it comes to the Assault Drone, it is a great distraction to NPC, puts out damage as well. And remember, because I am using the Perfect Spotter talent, I'm getting 20% extra damage with my skill as well, which obviously helps out. Now, one of the things I strongly recommend when it comes to any build you're using in the game is have multiple variations. Have one that you try as a solo player, have one you try in a group. So for instance, for me, with a build like this, 99% of the time I'm using the Memento because those trophies you pick up give you so many different bonuses. You get weapon damage, you get extra armor, you get skill efficiency, there's a short-term bonus, a long-term bonus. However, when I'm in a group, and I'll use Countdown as an example, I'm not the one always putting out damage or taking out the NPCs, and I need to take that into account. So for me, on the average, if I play Countdown, let's say I take out 15 to 20 NPCs on average. I think on this round I took out 30, which is rare. That was kind of high for me. But the point is, if I'm only taking, let's say, 12, 15 NPCs out, it's much more beneficial to have Adrenaline Rush. That way I'm always getting some sort of bonus. And once again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, remember there are so many different ways to run with a build like this. You may want to use the Gunner specialization, which allows you to use the Banshee Pulse so you can pulse enemies, get extra armor on kills. So again, take your time, my friends, and put something together that suits your gameplay. Most of you know by now that one of my favorite aspects about putting these build videos together is the family we have here at the channel. So as always, if you have any tips or tricks you want to pass along to new and returning players, please leave them in the comment section down below. The main goal is to help out as many people as we can. As always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your amazing support of this channel, and remind you, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well, but most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.
That's it.
You'll need to run the sequence quick.
Incoming. High risk hostile.
Great work, Agent. Now you just need to restart the reactor, keep any hostiles from knocking it offline or killing you. No pressure.
High risk target detected.
Great work, Agent. The power plant is stable. Now get the hell out of there. Shoot off a flare so Torres knows you're ready to go.
Agent down. System malfunctioning.
Kilo is ready when you are. Shoot a flare to signal Torres.
System restored.
Hold tight. Kilo inbound to your location. Ready for extraction. You did a great thing today, Agent.